Hey y'all, welcome back. Well, it's been a little while since we released a video. I've been working pretty hard on the lease. The two leases, getting the fields bush hogged, new lanes cut like y'all seen what's behind me back here down towards the shooting house. But one of the things we need to be getting prepared for is taking soil samples for our food plots. I've got some things I'll show throughout this video that we're planning on planting. So to do the soil samples, I'm going to use two different kits. Now, one of them haven't come in yet, but this is going to be the first one. So I'm going to send this food plot, and here's a picture of it right here, the shape that it's going to be in how many acres. So I'm going to do this, test this food plot with the Whitetail Institute soil sample test kit. And the other one will be the Antler King, and it'll be a self-checking. So it'll actually come with everything for you to check the soil at the site right there and then. I didn't really want to use a meter, so I would rather get a laboratory to tell me. So I'm going to compare this kit to a self kit, one that you self-test yourself on the other food plot, because the land and the ground is about identical. So y'all stay tuned. I'll show you the tools we're going to use, and we'll go ahead and pull soil samples on this here and show you how to fill this out. Okay, so here, this food plot is roughly going to be 120 yards long. That lower plot down there next to that shooting house is a Whitetail Institute food plot that me and Kimberly is going to spray one more time this summer. We're leaving it to be the way it is. So try to keep it going. But this will be in radishes, turnips, different things. And it'll only be 20 yards wide, 16 to 20 yards wide. We're not going all the way to the tree line. We want the deer to step out in the center. So in the past, I've always used a shovel and took soil samples, sifted it, put them in, took them to my local co-op, sent them off. But they're mainly targeting their kind of seed. Now, you can still use it. You still figure out how much lime, how much fertilizer you need. But I want something more specific to the food plots that we're trying to plant. And we're going to be planting Whitetail Institute, Domain, and Evolved Harvest. We're going to put some food plots head to head, so y'all be watching for that video. But instead of using the shovel this time, I ordered something that I've seen people use in the past. It's basically a soil sample tee. So it's pointed on the end, shove it down in the ground. You got a slot, push it out. It comes with a couple little bags but I'm not going to use those. I'll be using a handy dandy bucket. So these a lot of times we'll compare minerals to see what deer like. We've used Lucky Buck. We're not sponsored by them in any way. Matter of fact, there's no sponsorship in this video whatsoever. So basically, I'm going to collect 2 up here, 2 in the middle, and 2 on the end, and see and then that'll be enough to go in our bag. I can sift the rocks and stuff out. So we're gonna go ahead and show you this. There'll be a link in the description below to this kit, the other kit coming up soon, and this handy dandy soil sampler. Okay, so basically, you just take your T-handle, shove it down the ground. Of course, it's rocky here. Keep working it till you get what you want. Pull it up. There's your soil sample. This has got a lot of red clay in it, so it's probably going to be real acidic anyway. So we'll take multiple of these down through this food plot. Catch my breath. So we'll take this back to the house, get it bust down, show you how to do this, and then we're going to package it up and get it ready to be shipped off. And hopefully I'll have the results back before the Antler King kit comes in. And I'm possibly going to come back here and do the same 8 or 9 plugs that I did this time and compare it to the Whitetail Institute. We'll see which one's worth its money. So let's pack up and head to the house, get this here ready to ship. And basically what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get all the rocks and vegetation out of this and grass, the most of it you can get. So this handle works two different ways. So as you know, and I would recommend, you can put your knee on this to push it down in there, but would recommend keep you something like a screwdriver to push in there to get the core out if it's real hard ground. Fortunately here in Tennessee we have a lot of red clay, so it is what it is, but we're going to find out what this is made of and how much fertilizer or how much lime we're going to need. So this handle kind of serves as two purposes. You can stir it up real good like that. See where your rocks and stuff is, that's a rock. But you can take your T-handle part, just don't go on the sharp end, and you can mash this down. Get your clumps a lot better. Okay, in your kit, it just pops open, and you're gonna have your bag, your soil sample bag, and it states that you just fill it to this line. This is your recordable sheet that you're gonna put all your information on. It's got a column here that says what you're gonna plant, and you check no more than 2. It shows you how to take it with a sample or with a shovel, removing the top and then digging a wedge and breaking it up. So it's got all the information to determine the area to be sampled. Of course, it's going to be 8 to 10 samples per plot. Collecting soil samples, got everything highlighted in yellow, what you need to do and what you need to remove, any kind of questions. It's got your postage label, where to send it to. Of course, you have to pay postage on it. Name, address, email. It's got everything on it. And it has a checklist for you to follow. And you follow this checklist to make sure you have all these done. Now, it does state that this, you can get the results back within 24 hours of them receiving it. And you want, that's what you want your dirt to look like. You want it pulverized, nice and nice fluffy, got all your rocks out of it. So I'll read this off as we go. It says, to ensure your soil is tested, complete all 4 items on this checklist. Original submittal form with the red control number must be accompanied accompanied with each soil bag. That would be this one. Only 1 soil bag per submittal form. Multiple samples may be shipped together in a box if you have multiple forms or multiple kits. Do not fill with dirt past the dotted line of the soil bag. Overfilling can cause the bag to break in shipment. Then it says where to mail to. This is actually in Tennessee. I should get it back pretty quick. So you're going to take your little bag, open it up. Well, first off, you got to fill it out. I'll go ahead and fill this out, but you're going to fill to this line. Okay, I have my bag ready and filled out. So we're going to fill above the name line. A little more. 8 samples up in that tube is pretty good. A couple big pieces there. So that's our line. We'll take and fold this over multiple times. Squeeze the air out as you go. Get it as low as you can. Bend over and bend it over. And I'll put this into a box. But that now on your checklist, you'll have name, address, field number. We'll call it field number 1. And then we're establishing a new field. So I'll go ahead and put establish a new field. Fill out my address here in a second. Then over here, it's going to give you, hey, I've done got established a new field, not maintaining existing field. And I'm going to pick from these. So there's several of these that I've planted: chick magnet, tall time tubers, power plant. There's a lot of these. Alpha and imperial clover is my 2 favorites of any of these. But we're going to mark radishes. And we also have, it's like a winter greens. So I'm going to mark those 2. Fill this out and I'll put this in the box with it. So I have my soil sample. I went ahead and put the sample sheet form with the red writing inside the bag and tightened it up. It comes with this to mail it, where to mail it. It'll go right on the front of the box. It states in the instructions to make sure you put this in something tight. So I'll put it in a small box at my work, put some airbags around it, and this will be ready to go. So they should email me or send me the results back pretty quick. So we'll get the Antler King set up and we'll do it in the field, and we're going to compare this field plot. We're going to call it field number 1. We're going to compare this soil sample with the results to an Antler King kit and see if doing it on your own saves money and time, and how accurate it is compared to this. So we'll get the other kit and get it started. Well, my other one come in. So this is the Antler King pH soil sample test. It's got 4 strips in it. So there's no lab on this like there is for the Whitetail Institute. So basically what you're going to need, it's got detailed instructions, but basically what you're going to need some distilled water. Now, these are the soil samples that you've seen me take. As you can tell, they're all 3 different colors. They've got a nickname for the place that they're going to be. So you actually take 8 ounces of soil out of this. I've had the lids off of these for a week and a half. We're going to get 8 ounces and weigh it out. Then you got to have 8 ounces of water and stir. So stir, let it set 20 minutes. So we'll go ahead and get this divided up into how much it needs, add the water, and then I'll show you what we're going to do. Okay, I've got roughly 8 ounces. There's a big piece I meant to get out. And while we're waiting on the 20 minutes, this is your instant kit from Antler King. You get 4 pH strips with this. And basically, all you're doing, and it gives you all kind of instructions on what they recommend, highly suggest for food plots. But when you get to it, you've got your tips for successful pH testing. I did it just like they wanted, and just like Whitetail Institute does, and just like I have through our local co-op. The testing 6 to 8 ounces of soil in a 16-ounce cup we have done. Add an equal amount of distilled water to sample, that is the distilled water. Allow soil to set 20 minutes. During this time, the pH and slurry mix will equalize. After 20 minutes, take one of the attached strips and dip a ½ inch into the slurry, just enough to cover the litmus test area on the strip. Immediately take the pH strip out and shake water off. Match color on strip to chart. And it has a few more things about your plot, different plots like Antler King's Plot Max, and adding it to the soil and everything else. But it's going to give you a list on this side of everything of their brand, and then field crops they have there for anything you want to plant: alfalfa, clover, chicory, all kind of stuff. Now, what we're going to be looking for is this strip right here, this right here, to see where our pH is at. Now, I know all 3 of these have got to be somewhat different, because you've seen one of them's kind of sandy gray, one of them's really deep black, and of course the other one was basically red clay, probably about as acidic as you can get. Because even though they call this piney, we have more rock than we do anything on these hills. But we're going to give it another 14 minutes, and we're going to test this and see what happens. It's been 20 minutes, and here's our strips, and here's what we're looking for. So we're going to pull a strip, and like it said, we're only going to go above the color line. So this would be the one we call Fred's, the one that was so red clay. Looks like it's about a 7. So that'd be Fred's, which is showing we wouldn't need any. All right, this one is the dark black. It's showing a 7.5. Huh. And we'll try the real sandy gray stuff, which would be in the upper ends, what we call that. And it looks like it's about a 7. So here is our samples as they've dried. So as you can tell, there's a little bit of color variation in it. So you can see the step ups in color. So I don't know. Now it's saying desired pH is 6, but ours is 6.5 to 7.5. So it says by these that we don't need much lime at all. This is really shocking. I expect it to be more acidic way down here, but we're going to be planting rape and radishes, so it needs to be 6 to 7. About everything needs to be a 6.5 to a 7. So you can see our colors. We've got 2 that are 7.5, maybe 8, and 1 at 6.5. But then y'all stay tuned. Hopefully the Whitetail Institute will come back and we can compare the Fred one. I've done sent a sample off of this. The other part of this went to Whitetail Institute. So we're going to see what they say for us to do radishes and stuff. So y'all stay tuned. We'll get right back to this. Okay, results are in. Kind of excited about this. So if you remember, I took a soil sample of the same food plot, sent one to Whitetail Institute, and did one at Antler King, or the test yourself at Antler King. They come back with a 6.2 was the actual soil pH, and desired pH would be 6.5. Now the one we did ourselves come back at 6.5 on the same food plot. That is the red clay, darker red soil that was really rocky. So we'll break down the pros and cons here. The pros, or excuse me, we'll start Whitetail Institute. Whitetail Institute, now let's keep in mind, this kit is $14, $15 on Amazon or wherever you pick yours up. You still have to pay shipping to ship it to Memphis to get the results. So I have 20 bucks, $23 in this kit. But in this kit, it did tell me the desired pH, what it needed to be for the 2 I picked. It tells me exactly how much lime per acre, potash, phosphate, nitrogen, and even gives me the fertilizer amount for me to use on the 2 that I picked. So the cons of it, I wouldn't say it's really a con. It's going to be about the same as you go into co-op, but you're only doing one food plot for $20-something. And it'd be about the same if you went to your local co-op or feed store that sends them off. So if there is a con to it, maybe it's the price. But the results are unreal about how much that, I mean, it's got it all broke down exactly what you know is in that food plot. Now, the Antler King do-it-yourself one come in at 6.5. So here is the pros and cons. The pros, you're getting 4 sample kits you can do immediately and get the results in the field if you're in a pinch for the same price as buying the Whitetail Institute for 1 food plot. Now, the con of it would be, and you're doing 4 food plots for 15 bucks, fast results. I just wanted to check and see how accurate it was. We were 0.3 different off on the pH. Now, there is recommendations for fertilizer on here, but you're not going to get the detailed, broke down information that you would with the Whitetail Institute. So, pros, it's quick, get multiple food plots, do something in a pinch. Con, you got to buy your distilled water and everything else and carry it with you, measure it all out. So you got to be careful about that, and you're not going to know exactly how much fertilizer to put on what you're doing. So Antler King versus Whitetail Institute versus even your local co-op. That's my review on them. You want a dead set broke down, you're going to have to send it off to Co-op Whitetail Institute. If you want something quick and easy, go with Antler King. It looks like they're very close, not enough to really matter. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's kind of lengthy. I'll put in the description below on this video the soil sample, and I'll have one of each of these kits so you can pick whichever one you want. Drop in the comments below what you're planting this year, how you do yours, any comments you might want to put in about food plots or what we're doing. This is deer season prep videos. Next, we'll probably be rolling on to spreading the lime, doing the weed killing, and getting the food plot set up. So the next video will probably be a detailed video on exactly how many food plots we're doing, how many acres it is, and what we're going to use. So until the next time, be watching for the next video, and as always, God bless. See you next time.